Hi guys, welcome to Tamina's World. It's Tamina here. If you haven't stopped by my channel, I'm Tamina. This is my world. I talk about health, lifestyle stuff, mainly health stuff at the moment, anxiety, mental health, life in general, and the things that we struggle with in life. So, sorry about the glare in my glasses. I'll try and stop that. So basically, today I'm on here to talk to you guys about the Australian fires. Where I am in Australia is actually where the fires started. So I live in Ulladulla, Australia, which is on the south coast of Australia. And geez, was it scary. So on the New Year's Eve, there's a couple of towns across from us that actually got wiped out. So many homes were lost. That's called Conjola, and it was very devastating. It was just heartbreaking, and like a lot of places around where I live, there's a lot of bush, a lot of beach, and lakes, but that didn't stop the fires from, just destroying everything. Like, it just destroyed everywhere it went. It was a very scary time. For a month there was smoke outside and no one could breathe, and it was just hectic. So on the Saturday after New Year's Eve, we got warnings because it was going to be very windy and a lot of, like a high alert for fire dangers. Seems though that fires were literally all around our town. So on that Saturday, we got the house prepared. We put buckets of water outside the house. Darren was actually hosing down the roof and stuff like that. The boys were at their mum's house and Jayla was at her dad's house. Or my mum's house, sorry. And so we had Zypher here with us. And things turned bad very, very quickly. So the day went on. It was about 40 degrees heat here. And in the afternoon, we knew that a southerly was going to hit, but we didn't know how bad it would be. The southerly did hit and push the fires towards our town, which is Kings Point, which is in Ulladulla. So the southerly hit, the winds come up, and the winds were like hectic, like strong. It was full on. It was like the end of the world. Like, it literally felt like the end of the world. So what happened then is we were actually outside getting ready for the fires, and just making sure that no embers were coming here, and setting everything alight, because there's a lot of native bush around where I live. We live actually near a lake, which is Kings Point Lake. So we're pretty lucky like that, but there's still so much bush around us. There's one road in and one road out only to our town. So the wind come up. I took Zypher inside because I was scared, and the sky just went black. Like, the sky just went dark from smoke. And you could just see the smoke bellowing, like, from the back of Kings Point. And we could see flames in the tops of the trees, which was actually on the other side of the lake, but we could see it from where we were, our house. So it looked like it was actually on our side of the lake coming across to us. It did get very, very close. So I decided to pack Zypher up in the car, and we got evacuated down to Ulladulla Harbour and the Civic Centre, which was an evacuation point. So we decided to go to Ulladulla Harbour, where Darren's mum was, and his nan and Arnie. So I went down there with Zypher with like a bag of clothes and bottles and nappies and all the things that we needed, because we actually had no power, we had no water, and there was no food in the shops because there was no trucks able to get in and out of Ulladulla. So they couldn't get in and they couldn't get out. So there was no food coming in, no fuel coming in. The water had been turned off due to them using it for the fires. It was really, really stressful, really stressful time. And obviously there was people that had it much worse than we did. People lost their homes, people lost their lives, everything they owned. So we went down to the harbour, and it was very confronting mentally. I think it was traumatic even. Like, there was people crying, there was like people there with their dogs, like, you know, everything packed up in their cars that they owned. And it just got too much for me. So I messaged a friend which had was staying at a place that she'd rented, because she actually lived in the same neighborhood as I did, and as I do. And she offered for me to stay there with Zypher, because otherwise we would have had to stay in our car. So I didn't feel really well, and you know, as you know, guys know, I haven't been well. But my job was to look after Zypher and keep him safe. So as I was driving to my friend's house, Emma, I felt really funny, and you know, I thought, oh, you know, I'm just really stressed, you know, it's anxiety. Literally got to the place where she was and got Zypher out of the car, dragged him up to where the veranda was, where she was, and sat down and started having a seizure. So she ended up, and Zypher had never met these people before, and he doesn't go to just anyone. So he ended up going in and playing with her partner, with cars and trucks and stuff like that. And I was having a seizure on the veranda, so she rang the hospital. The ambulance. The ambulance were coming. They actually sent 2 ambulance. I don't know why. Darren actually came. She must have called Darren to come and get Zypher. So he got Zypher and brought him back into the fire danger zone, because there was no one else to have him. So Zypher stayed with him at the house. Thank God nothing happened. Everything, even though it was like literally the fire was around us, none of our stuff was touched. So we were very, very lucky there. So that night I ended up going to the Milton Hospital where we are, which is a small country town hospital. They can't really do much. There was lots of firefighters around and fire engines around the hospital, because obviously they've got to protect the hospital. The roads were blocked, so they end up having to get clearance so I could go up to a bigger hospital, because my seizures weren't stopping, which I find silly, because seizures are seizures. Once you're over them, you're over them, and you know, you carry on. So they gave me Keppra, which is a anti-epileptic medication, which zonked me out after the last seizure I had. And they took me up, transported me up to Shorehaven Hospital. And as we were going up, I remember the guy in the ambulance saying to me, can you lift your head up and look out the window? And as I looked out the window, all I seen was just flames like as tall as the trees, like even taller, like flames, and just like fire brigades, like trucks, like fire trucks along the side of the road. And it was just like, oh my God, like we were driving through that. And I don't know why they felt like I was such an important person to go through the fires with and get to a bigger hospital. But in the end, I ended up being fine. I ended up being discharged the next day, staying at my mum's. I slept for pretty much 2 days straight, because I was just so exhausted. Since then, everything's been great. The last couple of days we've had pouring rain, thank God for that. And most of the fires are pretty much out. I know down in Victoria they've got a lot of fires there still. There's been a lot of damage done to the economy in Ulladulla and surrounding areas. There's so many people that lost their homes out in Conjola, and it's very heartbreaking. There's people that lost their lives, and to be a town that was affected by the bushfires, I think it's going to take a long time to rebuild. also, I think there's a lot of mental health issues because I've noticed on a few Facebook pages from our area, a lot of people are struggling with their mental health after the fires because it was so traumatic. We had no food, no water, no fuel, and we were stuck between two fires in a town that had nothing. So we were literally sharing food. People had nothing, and still some people have no power. So, you know, I'm very grateful that we're all okay. So that was just, I wanted to tell our story on the Australian fires, and just, you know, if you can donate wherever you are in the world, donate to whatever organisations are out there. I'm sure if you Google some, you can donate there. I'm not sure of anyone's in particular, but there's so many places that you can donate. Please donate. You know, Australia is very hardly hit, not to mention how many animals have died and lost their lives due to the fires, koalas, you know, every kind of animal you think of, kangaroos, koalas are mostly badly hit because, you know, there's not so many of them around. And so, yeah, so, you know, on a scale, it's just, it's catastrophic what the fires have done to us, and mentally, physically, to the economy, to everything. So, guys, if you can donate, and you know, Australia will be appreciative of that. Anyway, guys, I've been pretty positive lately. I've been pushing myself to do stuff and, you know, get up and be motivated. Even though it's hard, each day I've been making sure that I do something that changes, makes a difference, you know, in my child's life, in my life, in Darren's life, to make a point that, you know, if they do find this cancer in me, that I'm living to the best of my ability, and, you know, just keep on keeping on. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching our video. Please hit the subscribe button if you already haven't subscribed. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye, guys.